Hi everybody, welcome back to Brelsford Family Homestead. I'm Darcy. Today we're just going to experiment. We have an area in the front of our house that I hope has enough sun to put garlic in the ground instead of in my raised beds. So we're going to put a tarp down today and let it kill the weeds, and then we'll add some compost and things and plant the garlic later next month when it's time to plant. I'm not 100% sure that this is going to get enough sunlight, but we don't use this area for anything, and I want to grow more garlic. It's near the house, so we're going to give it a try. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And this big stump is right here, but that might give us trouble putting T-posts to fence it off. This is just a billboard tarp. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if it works. That's a decent sized area. My hope is that it gets enough sun. Plant garlic, and if we don't fill it with garlic, to put onions here in the spring. We'll see. Well, our attempt to make a garden bed to the side of the house was a failure. We put down a billboard tarp. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I'd have to look back to see exactly when. Lifted it up yesterday and it looked exactly the same as all of the other grass around it. So I just don't think it gets enough sun. We didn't till it up or anything either. So it was just an experiment. I was worried that wouldn't get enough sun anyway. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and prepare one of my raised beds. We're going to put some compost that you see there behind me on it. Then I have some blood meal, bone meal, worm castings that I'll put on it. And then I have, I don't know, 140, 150 cloves that I'll plant. If I can get some more, I will definitely plant more. But this is from the garlic that I harvested earlier this year. You can see a video, I'll link it. So I'll bring you along to see how we do this. Oh no, is that even broken down? How in the world? I have taken out of here before. I mean, it's definitely very, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the things you learn, this compost pile has been here for at least a year. At least. The top part, the bottom even longer. It was only turned once, but there is a lot of unbroken down material in here, which is a real bummer. But we're learning more about composting. So when we're done, hopefully we're gonna get the hose out and move that over to there while hosing it down, maybe adding some more things to it in the hopes that we'll be able to use it in the spring.
Maybe like a little rake.
I had put these teeth.
Oh.
We had attempted to put the chickens in here, but it got really cold and it was windy and we didn't have anything to protect them from the weather, so I took them out of here. left the roots of the tomatoes in here. I wasn't sure which bed I was going to use for the garlic. Well, we had intended to have a whole nother bed, so there probably wasn't going to be a lot, but here we are. Okay. Fill this up. Minus the sticks in here. Look what I found. It's small, but it's got fat peas in there. My first snap pea from the fall garden. I didn't think I was gonna get any. So good. Yay! I would probably just put the rest of that in these 2 blue barrels that are low because I want to have plenty of space for deep mulch. I'm not using any scientific measurements here. I'm just gonna load her up. I've got bone meal, blood meal, worm castings. This is just, you can buy this at just about all the big box stores. Probably Lowe's, possibly Walmart, I can't remember. They were organic. But I had them in a bucket in my greenhouse and well, some water got in there. We are going to make some mulch with leaves. We still have a lot of leaves on the trees, so there'll be plenty for, insects and all of that, but we have a lot in our driveway that need to be out of the way, so we're just going to gather them up, put them in a trash can, and use the weed whacker to chop them up. Because if I mulch with whole leaves, it won't break down. So we'll mulch with that. I typically also use pine shavings, but I may wait until we actually get a little cooler for that to see about topping it off with that. We are in our driveway, as you can see, it's covered with leaves. We've got a trash can, leaf blower, rakes, wagon, and the weed whacker here. We're gonna blow a lot of these leaves into a pile. Then we'll put some in the trash can and chop them up with the weed whacker. It worked great for me last year, but I didn't have as powerful as a weed whacker as Joe's, so we'll see how this goes. There are so many leaves, and most of the trees are still covered. Probably, this is like almost 3/4 of the way full. Probably should not fill it more than that because that thing will be, it's going to be like an eruption.
Like, you put like the lid over it a little bit, or how do you?
I didn't, but mine was a battery powered one, so you have like a low setting on that bad boy?
Not really.
I had a Cobalt battery powered weed whacker. I do not recommend negative stars. I used it like 2 or 3 times and it stopped working. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, there's still a little bit of whole leaves in there, but it's chopping it up pretty good. I had it filled probably up to here the first time, and then I dumped that whole bucket in there. Yeah, having another battery powered one would make this easier. That's kind of cumbersome with the big old thing with the handlebars. So I thought I would show you what I'm using to make my grid. I have done it several different ways before. This is what I'm choosing this year. This is obviously not exact, but these are just bamboo stakes that I have laid across here to just give me somewhat of a row and a spacing. I plant mine pretty close together, and that's been successful for me. So after I fill these spaces here, I will just move these down and keep going. I don't know if you can tell, but I decided to go ahead and space them a little bit farther apart. It was already farther apart than I did the first year. I've always done them really close together. I'm going to give it a little bit more space and see what, since I have it, the space available, and see what happens. So here's are my cloves that I harvested this year. I'm gonna be planting those this side down, so pointy side up. This variety is called Music, and it does produce the scapes in the spring. Or it might be technically summer by the time they pop up. It's a couple weeks before harvest, which for my zone is around the 4th of July. All right, I'm going to move my grid and go as far down as the bed as I can.
Once you get that one planted, you can always move that pin one over.
Yep. One clove. One clove will get you one whole bulb. Except for a friend, I won't name her, who accidentally planted a whole bulb. I love you.
Yeah, you could just invest in going to the store and buying a bunch of bulbs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I have. The first year I did garlic, I want to say it was 3 years ago, I think. Something like that. I didn't have seed garlic, and it was like time to plant, like you got to plant now or never kind of deal. You know, I couldn't have ordered any online. Everybody had been out probably anyway. So I went to my local grocery store and bought organic garlic. You definitely want to buy organic because a lot of the things have like growth inhibitors sprayed on them so they won't sprout and stuff. So to avoid that, you definitely want to buy organic. But I mean, it wasn't expensive. And I planted at a smaller galvanized bed that's next to my trellis now. And I want to say I planted 65 cloves, and they all came up, and they were good.
What's the average amount of cloves in a bulb?
It depends on the variety. I'm not sure if you can still see what I'm doing or not. So I'm just planting them. You know, I'll kind of smooth this all over when I'm done, make sure no pieces are sticking out. But I mulch this heavily, at least 4 inches, and I have never had any problem with them coming up. I've always had, like, you know, if I planted 65, I had 65 come up. I think we're gonna almost fill this bed. I have sent some messages to some local places that I know sell seed garlic. One that I had bought some of this from before, but I did not hear back from them. So to fill out these last couple of rows, because it's not that much, I may just stop at the store and buy some garlic. Or get some more from my kitchen. I don't know. It's a hard decision.
Is this the
I don't know. It was somewhere between 140 and 150, I believe I counted yesterday. So I didn't do a second count, but that's okay. I'm just gonna kind of lightly go over all of this just to make sure the little tops are all covered, and then I'm going to water this in really well, and then put the leaf mulch on it, and I will water it again after the leaf mulch just to make sure. You know, this time of year all of a sudden you can have a lot of, I guess you weren't seeing me, you can have a lot of wind, and I don't want the leaves to blow out. And I may top them with pine shavings later. That's what I did last year. And pine shavings have worked really well for me for mulch, for tomatoes, for everything that I mulch. And it's, you know, they're more expensive now than they used to be, but you know, they're easily found, easily moved. I'm not lifting heavy things that kind of hurts me. So I'll find the hose. Alright, let's see if I can hose this down without hosing the camera down. This season I made a lot of garlic powder because I had some garlic that was ready a lot earlier than some of the others, and I waited and harvested it all at once. You can see the video here, but also I have I think it was a short, so I'll link it below, me washing and dehydrating the garlic for garlic powder. It turned out so good. It's very flavorful, and it doesn't stick together at all. Every time I have bought garlic powder from other places, it gets kind of hard and stuck together, even when they put like an anti-caking agent in it. And this has not at all. So I'm really happy with it. I'll definitely do that again. But if you do it dehydrated outside, unless you are an Italian, that's for your potpourri and your perfume, your house will definitely smell like garlic. It's kind of nice to have this where I can see it from the house, because it's like the only green thing I get to look at all winter. Well, a couple pine trees, but everything, like my grass dies, everything is just brown, brown, brown. Alright, I'm going to toss some of this. Keep her covered, since that's what she likes. That's great. Water this down a little bit. And really, sorry, you can't see my face. Really, I don't have to think about this again. You know, I'll water it in this spring or summer if we're not getting rain, but that is really it. I harvest the scapes when they come up, and then I harvest the garlic. That's it. Garlic is definitely very easy. You know, you don't have to do a big bed. If you have some garlic sitting in your bowl right now, or you're going to the store today, you still got some time. Throw it in the ground, throw it in the pot even. Mulch it with some leaves or pine shaving, something. Thanks for coming with us as we put down compost, made leaf mulch, and planted the garlic. We're hoping to have another bed, but it didn't work out, so we'll just roll with it and plant what we have and do what we can. You know, 140, 150 bulbs of garlic is still a good amount. So thanks for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you're liking these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Until next time, God bless.
God bless.